Greek members made a creative appearance on the stage this weekend as they compete for the title of Mr. Anchor. We show you the hidden talents that these students revealed.
Then, KBVR Cares does their part by helping Habitat for Humanity organize their warehouse. We show you how a small deed can go a long way.
And finally, we give you the story on all things winter sports related in our Monday night sports segment. We'll have all that for you and more tonight on the Beaver News.
Good evening and welcome to your Monday night edition of the Beaver News. I'm Julia Cameron.
And I'm Emma Lawson. We're glad you could join us this evening. Last week was a big week for the Greek life community with the Delta Gamma Anchor Splash. All week long, different events were held in the hope of raising money for the philanthropy Service for Sight, a foundation which helps visually impaired children. Reporter Cooper Howard went out to the biggest event of the week on Thursday, the Mr. Anchor Splash, to see what the fraternity men were strutting on stage.
I'm a music major, so I just love performing in front of big audiences, especially girls, right? So it was just the highlight was just performing and getting a great reaction.
Last Thursday night at the LaSalle Stewart Center, the sorority Delta Gamma held a 3-day event including a talent show called Anchor Splash in order to raise money for the charity Service for Sight.
I've enjoyed all the performances. They're very funny, especially the guys. They can definitely turn on the comedy.
Delta Gamma's Anchor Splash is one of the biggest philanthropies on campus, earning $30,000 last year alone. This year they hope to raise at least $32,000. Overall, the night showcased a surprising amount of talented individuals who came together to support this charitable cause. This is Justin Addy with Beaver News.
A group of students gathered on campus Thursday and Friday to hand out red plastic cups and give informative sheets on the historical figure Hussein ibn Ali. The students who were part of Who is Hussein campaign that promotes the values of a 7th century important figure in Islamic religion. The goal to spread Hussein's values of integrity, compassion, love, peace, and justice around the OSU campus in hopes to make a better community. On Thursday, the volunteers passed out almost 1,000 cups to passers-by and the leftover 200 on Friday. Overall, they received some positive feedback and were happy with the way things went. The campaign started in the United Kingdom as a series of posters and advertisements around London in 2012. Currently, the campaign has more than 40 representatives in more than 43 regions worldwide.
We always hear them on the radio, but we rarely see KBVR FM in person. This weekend, they decided to change that and give something back to the community. On Saturday, students, volunteers and faculty alike came together for KBVR Cares, a charity event to give back to the general public. This weekend's event was held at Habitat for Humanity, located off Philomath Boulevard and Technology. From 9 to 4, students took part in the reorganisation of Habitat for Humanity's reused warehouse. Students organised shelving pieces, metalwares, and other building supplies that are essential for construction of houses. At the end of the evening, KBVR put on a concert at the reused warehouse venue as a thank you to all those who helped out with the work party and as a final thank you to their loyal listeners. While some students were working at the reused warehouse, other volunteers split off and helped refit a house that needed some much needed TLC. We spoke with several KBVR staff members and volunteers who were more than happy to share their experience during the event.
Professor Bradley J. Cardinal of Social Psychology, a physical activity here at OSU, has co-discovered the power that regular physical activity has on the brain. The new research done by Professor Cardinal found that not only does the brain regulate aspects of physical activity, but also that physical activity may potentially influence brain-related function and outcomes. This bidirectional relationship between the brain and exercise has been examined in this paper to illustrate how the relationship improves physical activity, exercise performance, and brain-related functions and outcomes. The most interesting findings of the research was that it found that regular exercise may play a key role in the prevention and treatment of various neurological conditions, such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, depression, and cognitive function.
Concerns over online education taking away from universities has been addressed by Oregon State University educator Kevin Ahern at the monthly meeting of the Corvallis City Club. With online courses becoming rapidly popular among students, Mr. Ahern sees that universities can either take advantage of their popularity or risk being left behind. Mr. Ahern pointed to the fact that with the cost of tuition and textbooks soaring while middle-class incomes stagnate, he says it's no wonder that online courses are becoming more popular. Ahern has noted that the rate of growth online is higher than the rate of growth for traditional courses. He has warned that this may mean trouble for OSU in the future, with massive open online courses becoming increasingly popular for students. These online courses offer free introductory courses, and Ahern sees that this could pull more students away from traditional university education. In order for universities to not lose their students, it is suggested that universities need to move to a hybrid model of online education, one that offers free educational content, such as videotaped lectures, but drives students toward paid for credit options that lead to an accredited degree. So, what are your thoughts on online courses? Do you take any online classes?
You know, I'm taking a language class right now, and I would much rather prefer to be talking to people while taking the class. But I think it is really important for different types of classes.
Sure. Well, that's the thing, though. You got to understand that, of course, online isn't always going to work. I mean, especially with languages, you need to be in a class to learn that, like music as well. You need that interactive experience. But I think with a lot of other courses, like chemistry perhaps, that it does actually benefit, and it's a cheaper option.
Exactly, math classes, things like that. Also for stay-at-home parents or people that can't get transportation to school, it's a really good option.
I mean, university is very expensive here, so would that be something you'd be interested in if you wanted to do perhaps another course afterwards, maybe more going online?
Exactly, yeah. Well, our Monday nights wouldn't be complete without our sports segment. Here to tell us what Beaver athletics were up to this weekend is Beaver sports reporter Josh Warden.
Thanks, Julia. For Oregon State athletics, this weekend was a tale of two seasons, with fall sports nearing a close while winter sports still getting underway. The men's soccer team finished out the regular season Sunday with a 1-0 loss to the University of Washington. The men's soccer team ended with 7 wins, 9 losses, and 2 ties on the season. The volleyball team also lost this weekend in straight sets on Saturday to Stanford. They have 4 straight away matches to end the season. And finally, for the fall teams that had games this weekend, the football team is coming back to Corvallis after a tough defeat in Tempe, Arizona. The Beavers trailed early against Arizona State and were down by 17 at the halftime break. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks and tight end Connor Hamlet combined for 18 catches in the game, but the Sun Devils were too much for Oregon State and took a 30-17 victory. OSU will play the final home game of the year this Saturday against the University of Washington, with kickoff slated for 7:30 p.m. Both basketball teams netted victories this weekend, including the women's team blowing out Sacramento State 102-80 in front of over 4,000 fans. The men's team traveled to the University of Maryland on Sunday with the president's family in attendance. Maryland had only lost by 1 point to 19th-ranked Connecticut in their season opener, but Oregon State jumped out to an early lead. Roberto Nelson and Devon Collier combined for 60 of the Beavers' 90 points, and Oregon State held on for a 7-point victory. The OSU team is now 4-0 when Barack Obama is president. The Beavers wait until November 26th to play Southern Illinois Edwardsville in the annual N7 game at Gill Coliseum. And that is your Monday Night Sports segment.
Thanks, Josh. Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. I'm Julia Cameron.
And I'm Josh Warden.
And I'm Emma Lawson. We're glad you could join us this evening. For more of your Beaver News, make sure to watch us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Beaver News. Thanks, and have a good night.